It's hard to play like that.
Yeah. Give yourself a little warm up here. You're doing good. Let's do this real good. Give me a couple more here. All right. So, first and foremost, okay? First and foremost, okay? Club path, way too far over to the left. You're just throwing that thing off the top.
Yeah, because I shanked it so much that I'm like really trying to pull it away from the hosel. I'm like,
Yeah. So here's the thing you're going to understand about the shank. It's going to come back real quick on you because you're doing that. Okay? The reason a shank happens is because we're coming over the top, right? And then what we think is going to fix it is getting more and more left because we see the ball go right, right? Okay? So what happens is now you've slowed your swing down to compensate to come over the top. So we've put in a ton of speed or spin, right, into our swing, and we're just trying to guide it. We don't have a lot of club head speed compared to what we had before.
no,
right?
'cause it was like high 80s.
Yeah.
We lost like 6 to 7 miles an hour.
Right, because now you're coming so far over the top, you have to stop your chest and everything to allow your arms to make its paths.
Okay.
Right? So let's take a look. So the first thing we got to fix right here, okay, and we just look at the setup here. Look how wide open your shoulders are. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So as you kind of go here, all right, and then you just sweep on through. Now I can see the other part is, right, if I took a line right here, and we'll get another one. If you take a look at your rear end, see how your hips are going towards the ball? Okay, so that's gonna be part of your shank right there, right? So if I get in here and I just go closer, I'm gonna hit the hosel, right? And now what you've done now is you're still going this way, but you're getting you've got such a closed club face and you're shutting it down, right, to get it back because you're so afraid of going right.
Yes.
You know, and I get that, right? And these are the things I see. The club path is way to the left. The face angle is really shut down, which is going to invite a big pull if we hit it at all.
Yeah, because last time we got everything down to like really low. Like face angle was like 2 to 3, and then so was the club path.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
And now it's gotten way out of hand again.
correct. So you're really coming over the top. And as we said before, you're probably always going to be a person that plays a fade and comes a little bit off the top, and I'm fine with that. But we want to get that club path to, you know, as close to 0 as possible, 1 or 2 or something like that.
Right.
And that way we're going to be able to keep it in play. But right now, with us coming over the top with a shut club face, you're just going to be, you know, murdering it to the left if you make any good contact.
Right.
Okay, so first thing we got to kind of do here is we got to work on our setup here a little bit. So go ahead and set up for me real quick, big guy. Okay.
Yeah, it's like as time goes on and you get worse and worse, the things you do to fix it make it worse.
Correct.
You're feeling like, oh, I got to do this to counteract it, and it's just like, No.
Yeah, and that's golf. You've got to go in the direction that you're missing it, right? And that's counterproductive in what we know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, any other sport that does not happen, but in the game of golf, the way the physics works is different. So go ahead and set up for me. Okay. So first things first, we got to get on in here, right? Just like we used to do before. There you go. Okay. So now I've got your hands in a much better, or arms in a better position to swing out in this direction. Okay.
I don't think we've done this one before because I don't remember this.
Okay. So you see how we got right here? So now I can see that left forearm overtaking your right, just like that. So my old instructor would come by and he would hit me on the arm and get that just a little bit softer.
And when I did kind of like straighten it out a little bit the other day, I did kind of have that feeling of getting my arms kind of like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I stopped shanking it as much.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was losing distance, and I was like, well, maybe that's not the right one.
Well, we'll find out where the distance loss is somewhere else, but we've got to get you in a good setup to begin with.
Right, yeah. I was just like, I got so frustrated that I was like, oh, okay, I'm hitting the ball good. I was hitting the fairways, and then I was missing greens short all day long the other day.
Okay.
And I was like, well, maybe doing my arms like that is screwing me up. And like I said, I've been just chasing for the past month, 2 months.
Yeah, so that's the first thing we want to kind of do. So before we get into anything too crazy right now, let's just kind of focus on just having that feeling right here. Okay, now if you kind of took the club back for me, slowly. All right, you feel how we're doing there? Yeah, and then if I get that to kind of bend just a little bit, there you go. Okay, now we've got a much better chance of you being able to drive that more to the inside path now.
And get swinging out.
Correct, right? Because right now your path is like this, okay?
Yes.
And
I'm bad.
right, and you can see at one point we're 20 degrees off the top. That means 20 degrees swinging in this direction. That's the most I've ever seen out of anybody.
I still hit the ball though.
You still hit the ball. Very impressive. Very impressive. But what I'm saying is, you got it 24 actually. That's even more, right? But we need to kind of get that feeling, right, of swinging out in this direction for us, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's what we want to start off with, okay? Kind of start.
Because when I was playing the other day, I also did notice my divots were like fucking.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, that's so bad.
Yeah, that's over the top with a closed club face, man. That's left city all day long.
Yeah, or fucking super high spinny fucking cut that just goes.
Well, that's when that's the one when you get out of the way. What you do is you do this. You bail out of the way. You let your arms fall behind you. It gets stuck, and you hit it off the toe.
Yeah.
Right. That's the one that happens there. Okay. But let's try to work on getting our arm structure in that mode.
And then the setup's like this.
Yeah. So now your shoulders are.
But I don't also have to keep my body closed. I can just get my arms like in this position. If I still want to play a cut.
Yeah. I mean, you're basically doing what we call the Matt Kuchar, right? He's got closed shoulders with an open stance. So he hits a little pull cut all the time.
Okay.
Right? And that's a very successful way to play, right? He does it all the time.
Well, like I said, I was playing so good after I took some lessons with you. I was staying in like, I shot my best round. I shot a 74.
All right, good for you, man.
One over on the front, one over on the back. I played at Sherman Hills from the Blue Tees.
Okay, nice.
So I was like playing good.
Yeah.
2 bogeys, 1 birdie on the front, 2 bogeys, 1 birdie on the back.
There you go, man. Who are you playing with?
My buddy Wayne.
Okay.
And then
Wayne
like,
Thomas?
No, Wayne Sams. He's like, dude, this is the best I've ever seen you play. And I was playing consistently. Like 81 was like, oh man, that wasn't the best round I had.
You knew you had better, right?
But the ball striking was like, everything was good. It was like maybe I missed a putt or two that would keep me from the 70s, but it was like I knew when I stepped up to the ball, I was going to hit it in the direction of the green, somewhere on it. It might be a 20 to 30 foot putt, but we're going fairway green. Like the driver was on, everything was on.
Okay.
And then it just went away.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we haven't had a lot of time to practice too, right?
No, I think I've been practicing too much.
And that's possible, right? We go through our drills too, right? We do them too much to the point where we find a way to cheat through them, right?
Well, it's that I was doing that, and I felt like I was doing everything correctly, and then obviously I was screwing it up somewhere along the line, and it might have been like you said, the setup was so off that even everything that I was doing that you taught me wasn't going to fix it.
Correct. So I think the big thing we need to just start with here is just get your setup fixed, see what we start to see on there, And then we're going to start to look to see if we could start seeing where the speed might be.
Yeah, 'cause it's like foundation for a house, right? You can't build it on sand or it's fucked. So then it's like you start off with the setup and it's screwed from the get-go.
Absolutely.
Nothing that you're going to do is really going to fix
Correct.
it.
It's like building a house out in Texas. It's just going to fall over.
Yeah, it's
like
not
crap.
Good. So all the stuff you taught me, I was sitting there doing this. I was sitting there practicing getting the hips out of the way because you were telling me about that jump feeling to get the hips out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing everything that you told me, and I was like, nothing's working right now.
Yeah,
But it's because I started from the ground up was bad.
Yes, we were trying to look for a problem that was somewhere else than just coming back to a basic thing of setup, right? You know,
right.
That's when I watch the guys on tour, those guys are, you know, routinely about their setup and their grip, right? They get that harness down. So let's see how we do here with our new setup, okay? Feel like our arms are, yeah, there you go, right? A little bit more looking like Bryson DeChambeau, right?
It is a weird feeling, but
let's see how we do. Give it a chance.
give it a chance.
Give it a chance, right? Okay. Let's keep going.
I was hoping I could see the angle and everything that way.
All right. Okay, good. So remember, we want to feel like we got this guy there. Good, good. Just a little bit, right? There we go. Good. Just a little bit right there. And then we want to have that feeling, right? I want to have that feeling that I'm swinging out in that direction, okay? All right, swinging out to the right. There we go. Better.
The contact already feels night and day difference. Like I'm still hitting that pull, but my ball speeds went up and the club speeds went up.
Okay. I think the big thing is if we can just get that path a little bit less over the top for you, I think we're going to be good. But let's just work on our setup right now. Let's kind of keep with that.
Yeah, 'cause I just hit those two.
Yeah, good.
So it feels better. The setup already feels better. So I feel like we're already going in the right direction.
Yeah, I think we are. So let's just kind of stick with that for a few minutes and get used to that. That's a new feeling for us. Good. All right. Now look where you're
going down slowly.
Correct. See, our path is at 4 now, right? That's big, right? We were at 24 at one time, 25.
Yeah.
Right?
That was tough. That was tough.
All right.
But the spin on that one was super high.
That's okay.
Oh, I hit more toey. You can see it.
All right. That's just not centerness at contact.
And it didn't feel like it either. The other two ones felt like it. That one did.
Okay. Get used to that setup, right? Feel like we're swinging out towards that second baseman. Starting to come back towards our line. Path was pretty over the top again.
Yes.
All right. Good.
The setup does feel way better though.
Good.
I don't feel like I'm going to wrist shaking.
Good. Good. It's left. Mhm. Good. All right. How's that setup feeling?
Feels way better.
Okay.
I feel like I've got speed back with it too.
Okay. That's
Now I just need to get the path correct.
yep.
'Cause, like, I feel like I'm back to swinging my normal.
Speed and all that good stuff.
Yeah, because you remember I was thinking around there, 87 to 88 was like pretty stock last time, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. How did we feel on that one, big guy?
I felt like I was hitting right in the center.
Okay. Let's take a look at our setup and everything right there. Okay, that's all right. All right.
Yeah, that feels like a huge difference. Now, if we can just get the pad correct,
Yep.
We'll be gaming now.
All right, much better with our shoulders. You see how I see more square now? Before
Yes.
they were pretty wide open, okay? So that's big. It's a big start.
And then I can see where I started to pull over the top.
Mm-hmm. And then you're going to see the chest has to kind of stop, and you see how you see how that exit path's going really hard left, and then you're jumping up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and let's kind of take a look at a few things here.
Swaying, I see.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm going to do a face on. You can definitely see that you're swaying quite a bit. But I want to see if we've got early, when we're having early extension, if any. Good job of pounding through there. Good, 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 good. Good, I mean, you're keeping it on the line.
Compared to when we first did our lesson where I was doing that reverse pivot,
Yeah.
I feel like the backswing's gotten better. Like, see, my shoulders are more turned.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of got that feeling of not going so much like this and more like this.
More rotation instead of just up and down, right?
Yeah, because before it was pretty freaking bad.
Okay, so the other thing we see here, just a little bit, watch our head, right? And let me go. Right, so if we kind of go like this. Like the head drops, but you see how yours continues to drop and then it pulls out to the left here?
Yes.
Okay. Watch John's. As it kind of goes, hits it, and then he's keeping his head in that hub a little bit. So for you, it's kind of like this. And we may look at, when we look on it face on, but, it's kind of like one of these things. You kind of go, let me see if I can do it again here real quick. I want to just make sure I got it right. So it's down, right? And then you see how your head just starts pulling out away here, opening up your shoulders, okay? We definitely want to have that feeling, right, of that lead shoulder kind of going down our target line instead of getting pulled out and away. Does that make sense?
Okay, so it needs to be going more this direction?
Yes, instead of like you get here and your head and everything go out and away.
So, okay, so my question is, doing that, because then you see the finish, right, and then they're most of the time finish with their club up or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I did see the other day when I saw Rory, he freaking smashed his driver, right? Boom. But instead of finishing where it was like, he was trying to get to this position, it looked like more like throwing the club over his shoulder, right? And then that's how he finished.
Well, I don't know what shot you're actually referring to. We'd have to go back and take a look, but he may have, I don't know what shot it is, but if he's doing this, he's probably trying to throw it up as high as he can, right?
Well, it was just stock driver. It was just like, it wasn't a spectacular, like high, low, nothing. It was just regular flight. It was just noticing that instead of trying to pull left and get to here, it was more like a motion of throwing the club over your shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So is that what I should be trying to feel instead of getting to this position? Because I feel like I'm too focused on going left, and turning.
Yes, you need to have more of this
up.
Yes, right? Remember when I talked about that extension, that jump?
Okay, so that's what I was wondering about, because I was like, well, I feel like if I'm swinging up, then everything's going to go really high and spinning, was my concern. So I was like, got stuck in the thought of like, if I go low and left, then I can flight things down, and then I got lost in a lot of weird things.
Yeah, let's just try to go with the first thought of swinging high, right? Feeling that, when I look at good players, if they had a jug of water, right, it would be up and behind them.
Because that's where I used to swing, was I would try to get that feel of like, boom, like this, instead of like this.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the way, it turned into this.
Oh, well, just maybe something we saw, maybe had a lucky day with that movement, so we try to incorporate it.
It's hard to say, right?
Right. I mean, I don't know where it came, but you can definitely see here with Johnny Rahm, right, when we look at John, right, you can see that he's kind of throwing that. Look at his shoulders.
See, that's exactly the motion I was talking about.
Look. Boom. Like he's throwing water up, right? That's going to keep his shoulders in the same plane.
Look at mine where it turns left. Like when we get to the same spot in the back or in the swing, he's like up here,
and
over here.
And your head's pulling off with it, right? And you're hitting it off the toe sometimes.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
All right, let's hit a few here, right? Let's get kind of.
I'm gonna try to imagine what we just talked about.
Okay.
Everything the same. So.
All right, good setup right there, right?
But with that swing.
Much better. Okay, that's much more playable.
Yes.
Right? We took our club path is still a little over the top, which I'm okay with. All right, we need to get that a little bit closer to 0. Okay, but I like that path, the pattern, what you're doing. Okay?
It's just going to be working it into
Correct.
a natural feeling.
Correct, because that's going to keep your face square longer down the line than if you pull off to the side. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Good. Let's keep going. You're doing good, buddy.
It's feeling better. It's just a matter of getting it to work more reliably.
Yeah, well, we've changed 2 big things now, right? We've changed up our setup, right? And we're changing up our release pattern too through, right? Not coming off to the left, but coming more up into the air, right? Feeling like we're swinging to the gods.
Yeah, exactly. It makes a huge difference.
All right, good shoulders.
Still pulling left pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
Club speed's gone up though.
Yeah. Yeah, it has, definitely.
But I don't feel like I'm trying to overdo it. See, and then I keep moving my body left.
Mm-hmm. You've got to get the feeling, okay? So set up for me, okay? You got to get the feeling, okay, as you come on through here. Come on up, 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 up. All right, we got to get the feeling of driving that back down and feeling like we're swinging out in this direction here. See how my arms stay out there?
Yes.
Okay, that's what we need to kind of have. That's going to get your ball to start out over here and come back for us, right? Okay? Or at least more onto our line, right? But I need for you to kind of feel like you're swinging out towards that second baseman, maintaining that arm structure out in front of us. Good. Better. Much better. Good. All right. Arm structure, right? Set up. Good. That's a much more manageable pull, isn't it?
Yes, not going like
Dead left.
way off.
Good. Okay, good.
That is way more playable.
Arm set up. There you go. Good. Getting back in the field of play. Now we're getting back in the field of play. Okay. Let's take a look.
That's like not super horrible. It's not exactly what I want, but
No, but we're getting there. We're closing in on it. All right. Okay, here we go. Give me a swing. We're going to take a look face on, okay? let's take a look here. What we're doing here. We've got our player's box, okay? Okay. Oh, what do we got back? Went back to it. There's our big issue. Okay. We have a reverse pivot.
Not again.
Right? You see how the chest and head are closer to the target as we get there instead of our ass end? Okay. So that's where your speed's getting lost at. Okay? Because now you're going to throw that club off your chest. You're going to have to early release it, and the chest has to stop to allow your hands to keep coming up. Okay? So, set up for me again. Okay. Arms across your chest for me. Okay. No, let go of the club. Arms across your chest. Okay, good. All right, get in your posture for me. Okay. Turn. There you go. Okay. Feel where we're at right there?
Yes.
Backs to the target. Okay. Now, do that again for me. Now give me your hands. There you go. Okay, feel where we're at?
Yes.
Okay, now you've got a real good chance of getting closer to the inside path of what we're talking about. Does that make sense? Yes. Yeah, now you can drive those hands back down there. You feel how that backs to the target? There you go. You feel that?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a weird feeling to get used to.
Well, yeah, it's a very...
Feels like I'm coming way off the ball, but like...
Yeah.
I was trying to play with that feeling too.
Okay.
But it was uncomfortable, so I stopped.
I gotcha. It's got to feel like, for somebody that hasn't really turned like that, it's got to feel like you're turning really away from the ball hard, right?
So it should be like this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 I'd much rather you just practice little shots like that. Just give me little half or quarter shots, getting your back to the target, feeling that. Okay? All right. Now, the one thing I'm going to do to you to kind of help reverse that, all right, so go ahead and do it. Okay, and I'm going to move the ball back so it doesn't feel like we've got to go so far back this way to come get it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, just pull it on down and just kind of swing through there. Just feel like your back's to the target, like we just worked on there. Mm-hmm. That's okay.
No,
all right?
It's going to happen.
Absolutely. Okay, we can't, that's why we're here.
Yes.
Okay, that's why we're here. But we've got to get rid of this reverse pivot that we've got, okay? Mm-hmm, good, good. Just bring it on down.
Yeah, I'm trying to feel like how it feels, but to be able to also look at the ball at the same time.
Well, here's a little something for you, right? That ball's not going to move, thank God. So you don't have to really keep your eye on it completely. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I can hit that ball blindfolded. Okay. Okay. You've got, that's our concern. Now I know what it is. You're ball bound, aren't you?
Yeah, I want to see what it does if through every aspect of the swing. Like,
okay.
I'm watching it way too much.
So let me ask you this real quick. What do you think the neck does during the swing?
Well, it's supposed to stay still and your body turns around, right?
Ish.
And you kind of like, it kind of helps pull everything through.
Okay. If I showed you what the neck does and I just framed everything out, right? This is what the neck does.
I did notice that the other day too. All these things are things that have crossed my mind.
Okay.
Because when I was swinging the other day and I was starting to get a little more distance back and stuff, I noticed it as I was swinging back. I was like, I'm going to kind of watch the club and see what the fuck happens when I swing back. And
your head will move naturally what it needs to do,
yes.
Right? So if you watch me, let me see your club real quick, right? Watch my head, right? So this is what you're doing. This is a mental thing I think we've got to get over, right? Is that if I have the ball, and I'm just going to put it right here, okay? So for you, I'm going to take a backswing, but I'm not going to lose sight of the ball.
Exactly.
Right? So this is how we get our reverse pivot.
Yeah, because I'm
still looking at the ball, right? Okay. What we need to have happen, right, is that we need to feel like we're loading up behind that ball, right? So, right, you see how my head is moved back behind that ball? My cap is back here?
Yes.
Okay.
That makes me nervous.
I know, it does. But the big thing is you've got to realize that if I can consistently perform what I need to do, I'm not going to have to worry about where that ball is because it's not going to move on me.
Right.
Right? So if I have a consistent setup, like what we're talking about, and I move away, when I move back down and through, that ball's going to be in the same spot.
Yes.
Okay, so here, watch me hit a ball here real quick, okay? So just watch my head as I do this, okay? So as I go.
Yeah, you turn it a little bit.
Probably, here, do this real quick. Here, get out of the camera's way here, and I'll show you, let's do this. I'll show you my head real quick, what it's kind of doing here. Okay, so as I kind of go. All right. I'm not going to say that was the best of swings, but that's okay.
Well, you're not used to how those clubs feel and all that.
Okay, but look where my head's at, right?
I see.
Right, to you in fast mode, it doesn't look like it's moving that much, right?
Right.
Right, it doesn't look like my head's moving that much.
But it comes off. I could, you know.
Right, my back of my head's still in the hub, right? That's good.
Okay, so that makes way more sense, and that's.
Okay.
It's like the fear of not seeing the golf ball totally drives me like to do that weird swing.
Correct. Okay, so that's the big thing we need to kind of get used to, okay? So this is something I would kind of, say I would do with you, is that, stand right on over here real quick, okay? You're going to need to get used to this, right? I would have you just actually close your eyes and swing.
Right.
Right? Not that that's, going to be the magic move, but I need you to kind of understand that you have to get used to the idea that this ball's not going to move and I need to move around it, and me seeing it's not going to worry anything, right? So if I just kind of close my eyes.
Yeah.
That's better than my other hit that I did get to see. Does that make sense, big guy?
It does.
All right. So that's going to be the big thing to help you get rid of that reverse pivot.
Yeah, because you always hear the stupid thing of like, oh, you got to keep your head down.
Oh, God, I can't tell you how many old ladies I've got to tell, stop keeping your head down or eye on the ball. It's the worst advice ever. Yep. Okay. Right. Turn back and turn through. Okay.
All right. Give me a second. Let me talk to myself and tell myself.
Okay.
The ball is going to be in the same spot.
Absolutely. Right. That's fine.
It's not going to change.
Yep.
It will be there.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
It's fine. I have to live with knowing that I'm going to do these duff shots before I start getting the feeling of what it feels like.
Absolutely. But that's so much better. Right? I wouldn't say that's totally getting behind the ball, but that's not nearly as much a reverse pivot now, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. Keep going, big guy.
Okay. That makes way more sense.
Is that making sense? Turning behind the ball?
Yeah, like I don't have to necessarily look at it the entire time.
It's going to be in that general area. Keep your head in that general area. There we go.
Yes.
Okay.
That felt way better, and that was like a pussy swing. That was just a nice, no trying to do it.
Right. Good. And that's going to give you so much more range of motion. That's where your speed's gone, yeah. Right? You can't.
That makes way more sense.
Okay. Here we go, big guy. Keep going. You're doing great.
That time I looked at it.
That's okay.
I had to look at it.
I get you, man.
I gotta stop.
It's a very scary, unsettling feeling that you can turn your head away and it.
Well, it's not gonna be that bad once I know, like, okay, I'm gonna hit it. Like, once you get the confidence of like, all right, well, you know, if I don't look at it and I can still hit it, then whatever.
Yeah, but just practicing, I think, is going to be a big help for you. Good.
That's fine. Because I will figure out the motion.
Yeah, but
my
those
body
are.
will compensate and get to the point where it becomes natural. Right now, my body's so used to doing that, looking at it, that it's going to take a minute.
Absolutely. Rome wasn't built in a day, my friend.
Much straighter, way less of a pool.
Absolutely. And I like that you're swinging up and down that line now and not falling off to the side, falling off the mound, what we used to call it as kids.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned about the contact anymore, just that it goes in the direction.
All right. You're set up. Watch your arms. There you go. Good.
Even a crappy hit like that, it's going straight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've got to just get used to.
All right. That was a total of 143 right there for a crappy hit. Now, I know it was a little low, but...
It was low, yeah, that thing was running. That feels way better, though. Like, that gives me more confidence to know that things that I was thinking were correct. It's just that it was uncomfortable and I didn't want to stick with it.
Gotcha.
That's it. Boom, look at the fade.
Okay. The big thing is we're starting to cut our club path, right, more into a half, okay? We're down to about 9 degrees over the top. Where we started off, we were about 20 to 25, okay? So we're cutting into that lead, okay, which is good. We still want to feel like we're swinging out towards that second baseman, though, okay?
This is just going to be a lot of range time to get familiar with this.
Yeah. Don't you have like a little hitting net at the house or something?
No, I used to. I need to get another one.
Oh, okay. All right. Feel like you're turning back behind that ball, okay? Okay. All right. Let me ask you, do you feel like you turned behind that one?
I felt like it.
Okay. Let's take a look and see.
Nope.
Okay.
Not as much as I felt.
No, I mean, you're doing good here with the head, okay? But we need to just kind of feel like the back stays there instead. You see how the arms are starting to lift here a little bit? Mm-hmm. Okay. Where's your wrist hinge?
Not really there.
Right. That's what's causing the second part of that now, right? You're doing good on the
now I need to get.
we need to have a little bit more of a hinge because what's happening is your hands haven't set and they keep running, and then that takes your chest over, okay. Right? So set up for me, right? And our club's going to be more like this, okay?
Okay.
Right? You see how that is? And now if I get you here, see where I'm at here?
Yes.
Okay? Now you have a chance of staying in your posture instead of your arms coming out. So
here.
Right? So if I kind of get you a little... All right, get you this little device. Okay, so I put that right on in there. Okay. All right, this will give you a good visual. Okay, so if I put that right along your toe line. See how that matches up?
Yes.
Okay. Right, so you can already start to feel that your wrists are going to start hinging at this point. Mm-hmm. But instead of being like here, running off.
Yes.
Okay, so because once they get to the inside, they're just going to, yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, so once you get right past your right foot, see right there? That's where you should be.
Okay.
Okay?
Wrist is already hinged up.
Correct. It's ready to go. So all I have to do now for you
is turn.
Boom.
Yes.
Okay, big guy? Good. There's a lot going on there, but I think you can handle it.
No, it's fine. It's just practicing the motion. So here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Turn.
Yep. Yep. Then come on through.
Okay.
Yep. Do it again. How does that feel for a takeaway motion?
Better. Way better.
Good.
Feels like I'm not getting stuck inside and then having to go around everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you're keeping that club out in front of you where you can control it instead of getting it back behind you. Good.
Yeah, so it's boom, and then now I'm already hinged.
Mm-hmm.
Turn.
Yep. And that'll keep you back behind that ball. Okay.
But that feels a lot better.
Okay, so do you get the understanding of the takeaway?
Yeah, that was also a huge part of the problem, was the takeaway was so far off.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here we go.
So now I can just imagine that line.
Mm-hmm. Here's what I would do right here. This is what I would kind of do, partner, to kind of get a good feel for it. So go ahead, set up for me. Okay, so I would get one right along basically your toe line, maybe an inch away. Right, I'd get another one just outside for practice purposes.
And then keep the club square down there?
Mm-hmm, yep. If I kind of keep it right there to start off with, I got a good start off. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Okay.
That's how I didn't turn at all.
It's okay.
But I hit the ball.
You hit the ball, right? Okay, so that gives you an idea, right? Does that give you?
That feels a lot better, though. It's just now I've got to get the idea of turning like that more. So,
Good.
Same thing.
Let's try it again. There we go. Good job with the takeaway right there, buddy.
Yeah, it feels way better.
Okay, right. A little low, but should be straightish.
Yes.
Good.
The path is getting better.
Correct. Correct. And that has a lot to do with our hands in the takeaway, right? They get inside, they're going to come out. And to keep them out, they're going to come in. Okay. Now move that ball back in your setup a little bit. Move it back about an inch or an inch and a half, okay? That way you don't have to go chase it so much when you turn. There you go, good. Feel like it's in the center of our stance, that's perfect. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hit one good and then it's going to click.
I know, it just takes time.
It's taking a second to realize what's going on here.
That's right. I mean, remember, we talked about our arm structure, making sure that we get our shoulders a little bit more closed to get to the inside, right? We're trying to get rid of that reverse pivot, so we're trying to turn behind that ball, and we're trying to get that wrist set, right? Good. Okay, I know she's a little left, and I'm okay with that, but the big thing is I'm starting to see that club path is starting to drop down a little bit. Now we're at 6.
Yeah, that was just the face was super close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Good. Yep, yep.
That's it. That felt like that was the right one. That felt absolutely way better.
Good.
And I think I know what the feeling was on that.
Okay, good.
It's getting my shoulders to turn through the shot.
Yes. I like that. That's a good, very good thought.
I don't care if I'm pulling it right now.
Okay. Oop, camera wasn't available. Oh, I bet the camera's dead. Oops.
That's a huge difference.
Okay, good. Okay.
That's fine.
It's good.
And that's the only reason it's pulling left is because the face is closed at the same path that the club's going on, right?
Yes, yes. So
I
those
mean,
two
they're
things.
almost identical.
Yes. So if I could get you to get your face open to your path, okay, then it's going to start coming back on our line a little bit.
Okay, because I think I'm also probably rolling my hands over a little bit because
Okay.
I got so used to trying to eliminate that shank
Gotcha.
that I'm not just coming through.
Okay. I want you to feel like you're just swinging with a square club face. So I just want you to feel like you're keeping that face as square as possible down your line. Okay? Don't try to rotate your forearms too much. Better.
Much better.
Right? Okay. Good. Okay. We want to have that feeling, right, of keeping that face as square down the target line as possible, right? We don't want to get here and flip, okay? Especially if we're going to be a little bit over the top, we want to feel like we're definitely keeping that face open through impact, okay?
Full left in there.
Correct. All right. Give me about 3 or 4 more here, and let's talk about what we need to work on, okay, big guy?
All right.
There you go.
Yeah, but that one I looked at it.
Okay, well, you know, we're working through a lot of things here, right? I get you.
I didn't turn my head so far off the ball. So I can turn it off, but I don't need to like look completely back.
No, correct, correct. We want to kind of feel like we're keeping our head in that little hub in that area,
Okay, that makes me.
right, as we come on through. Old Williams coming on in. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, that what makes more.
There you go. Look at that face angle, okay?
Yeah, I was trying too hard to look backwards was what was getting me. So I went from not looking at looking at the ball too much to not looking at it at all.
Right? So it's just got to be one of those things where we're kind of like, you know, as my shoulders move, my head stays here in this area right here. I can still see the ball out of the corner of my eye, right? But I don't want to lose the ball completely, right?
Yes, that makes way more sense. Okay, that's where I was getting stuck at.
Right? Yeah. So
I was trying too hard to turn it back, and then I was taking my whole focus off the ball.
yeah, just feel like it might be residing in the corner of your eye as you kind of turn away, right? You notice it, but not looking at it. There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
There you go. Hey, big guy.
How's it going?
I'm good, man.
All right.
You got your code?
I think so.
Okay. I'll open it up for you here in just a sec.
Okay, so we're back in commission now.
Correct. Oh, all right, so let's talk about it here, okay? Let's talk about a few things, right? First things first, right? Okay, when I looked at you in the beginning, shoulders were really open, okay? Right arm was way over my left here to start off with, right? So I want to get that feeling, right, when I get here, right, that the left arm is just overtaking my right, okay? That's going to be the feeling that I want to kind of start off with, okay? That's going to be our first start, right? Now, the other thing that we want to kind of work on here a little bit was the takeaway, right? So I want to have that feeling that my hands go more around my thigh and the club goes out and away.
Yes.
So that's the feeling that I have, okay? That's going to help me get this nice wrist set when I get here. But if I just kind of take the club to the inside like this,
now you get stuck and you have to do that.
right? I have to lift, right? I get no turn, and then I'm going to fall back this way, right? So if I can get you to kind of feel like you're turning back with a good wrist hinge, right there, then we're in a good position, right? Now you can drive that right back down towards the club right there, okay? What was another thing that we kind of talked about here a little bit? Yes, we want to feel like we're swinging out towards that second baseman as much as possible, okay? But for you, you're always going to be a little bit over the top, which I'm fine with, okay? But we need to have kind of that feeling, okay, that we're keeping our club face square through impact, or maybe even a
Well,
little...
it's like if I could do that every time, I mean, that's basically center fairway almost. Like,
Yeah. And your big issue is that we don't need to roll our forearms coming through for you.
Yes.
We need to feel like they're kind of open, right? So if I can get you to have a little bit more of an open club face coming through with your shot path, then we're going to get that thing to come back on our line the way that we want.
right.
Okay?
Yep.
All right. What questions do you have for me, big guy?
That's it. I was really trying to get figured out what was going on there. So it was set up, getting set up correct, wrist to the backswing, keeping the club outside, and then turning back.
Correct. Getting rid of that reverse pivot that we fought to begin with.
Yeah, we fixed it and then we went back.
Right. And that's just something that, you know, the more that we practice and we do things, we kind of get stuck in those things.
Yes.
Okay.
But that makes a huge difference.
All right, big guy. You want to settle up? Settle up real quick. Ooh, what you doing today for the remainder of the day, my man?
Going to play golf.
Are you really? Good for you, man. Where are you going?
Huntington Hills.
Okay, I was going to say it's Cinco de Mayo, man.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. One of my coworkers said something about it this morning.
You got your card on you? Oh, really?
He said, I'm going to go home and do yard work in honor of Cinco de Mayo. I was like, that sucks.
Who are you playing with today?
My buddy Wayne and then a guy that I went to high school with.
Huntington Hills is in good shape.
Yeah, I played there about a month ago.
The only thing I don't like about it is that there is a few holes that are kind of gimmicky.
Oh my God, like hole 5, that
Hole
reverse par 5. Like, what is up with that?
Yeah, that's a terrible par 5. Number 3.
Number 3 is horrible.
Horrible from the back tees. I'm not sure if you're playing the back